For the appetizer, Tim Keating in Houston prepares boules of salmon and crab. Note the method in shaping the small packets using an ice cream scoop. The entree is presented by Frank Caputo at the Kiawah Island Club in South Carolina. It is paupiette of Ashley River Shad Roe enrobed with potato slices. Dessert comes from Gerard's downtown in New Orleans. Lisa Anderson constructs a cherry strudel using plumped dried cherries, almond cream, and phyllo sheets. At taping time, Tim Keating was executive chef at La Reserve in the Omni Houston Hotel. He has since moved to the DeVille at the Four Seasons Hotel in Houston. A New Jersey native, he cooked in California and New York before coming to Texas. His dish is boule, the French word for ball, of smoked salmon and Gulf crab. Chopped fennel begins a blended sauce.
So in the blender we go with the fennel. We add a little bit of mayonnaise. We use the juice of 1 lemon. And add a little bit of rice vinegar. Once again, we use the seasoned kind. You can buy, in most Oriental or ethnic groceries, you'll find some rice vinegar in many different shapes and sizes, but this one here we use it as seasons. It's got a little sugar, a little salt, has a little bit more tang to it, and goes really well with sauces, especially vinaigrettes. In the blender, as you put the lid on, we just start the mixture blending. You really want to try to liquefy it. Once that's liquefied a little bit, we can go ahead and add the dill inside. This sauce here is really you have to play with it a little bit because it really, sometimes you don't have enough liquid in it. So if that's the case, we can always add a little bit of chicken stock just to round it out.
Olive oil completes the emulsification.
Till everything's mixed well, and then we're gonna go ahead and put it in the refrigerator and let it get set up a little bit more here. It's got the olive oil in it, it's got a little bit of mayonnaise just as a binder, and we're gonna let that get cool. Remember that a blender heats things up. It's really important to make sure you got to offset that here, so you need to bring it back to its temperature. So let's put that inside the refrigerator, and we'll go on to the next step.
The crab filling includes basil chiffonade.
Once you've got that process finished, we just go back and loosen it up a little bit. This crab comes from the beautiful crab that comes out of the Gulf here. There's several different strands of crab across the country, but we like to say that this is like candy in this part of the country. Sometimes you get little pieces of shell that are involved within getting inside this, but jumbo lump usually doesn't have very much, and we've already picked and cleaned most of this. I like, especially for the boules, to leave those clumps as whole as possible. We take a little of that mixture, and into that we add our chiffonade of basil. To that, we'll add some finely chopped shallots. We take this is about one whole shallot, and we just finely mince it. And that'll give it, I think, a little bit of a nice sweet flavor to the crab itself and accent it. To that mixture, once again, we just add just a pinch of kosher salt, and again, some freshly ground pepper. In this dish, I love to use an olive oil that's kind of gritty, it's unfiltered. It's a really wonderful olive oil called Mosto. It comes from Italy. It has a really great tang to it. If you were to taste it, you could tell that it has the little grit on it because it is unfiltered. But we just stream a little bit of this into the mixture. With a spatula, we just roll it together until it's well coated.
The salmon boules are filled with the stuffing.
Within that mixture, we tried lots of different things. We used French dariole molds. We used different triangulars, rounds, squares, but we ended up with a simple ice cream scoop, which is actually fairly easy to do. If you take a medium-sized ice cream scoop, and actually you can make these boules any size that you like. You can make them one boule as big on the plate, or you can make smaller boules like we do, and or even smaller as we do sometimes as a little amuse-gueule or a little appetizer when people come into our restaurant. What we do is we line our mold, as you can see right here, we line it with plastic wrap or saran wrap, so it's nice and tight to the inside of the mold. From that point on, we take some sliced smoked salmon, and we just push it inside of the mold here. All right? You take the other half and just line the inside of the mold. Through that process, then we take a little bit of our mixture of crab, and we take it and just press it inside of the mold. You don't want to fill too much over the top of the mold because it'll end up pushing out. You won't end up with a nice little round ball. After that point, just fold the ends of the smoked salmon over the top. And then pull the plastic up over. Just push very gently with your hands, pulling the excess plastic to the top. Once that process is done, you feel like it's a firm press of the inside to get a nice round ball. We can go ahead and pull it out from the mold. Use both hands to kind of twist the boule. And that gives you a nice rounded top. As you can see, it gets real hard and packed in here. Once again, you need to go back and reset this in a refrigerator. That way you get a nice, easy presentation. Holding the bottle fairly firmly, we just go back and just freely streak the plate. And just let it fall. Never is the plate ever the same. It always comes out a little different each time. What we do from there is then we go back and we put our boules right in the center in a little triangle, right over the top. What's really important, I mentioned a little bit the importance of the part of our culture is the olive oil that we use in our kitchen. And I like to use a real fruity olive oil just to glaze the top of these boules here to give them a really good flavor. And it's called Longorotti. Now, they're a very large winemaker throughout Europe, actually in Italy, and they make a really wonderful fruity olive oil that we use just to glaze the top of these and give it a most beautiful shine. Just a little bit on top to accent. You can tell the difference between the dull sheen of the smoked salmon earlier now as the olive oil brings it alive, not only in looks, but certainly in flavor.
A bouquet of mixed greens garnishes.
That we tie together with a little chive. We keep them wrapped up ahead of time with some wet paper towels to keep them fresh. What I do is, after that point, is I go back and I cut the bottom off so it stays nice and tight in the base of the plate. We'll go ahead and stick it in between the middle of the boules, and then we go ahead and finish it with a long chive out of the top. Okay, since the salad has really no dressing, what I like to use, as mentioned in your recipe, is a little bit of basil-infused oil. Once again, we just go ahead and drizzle a little bit on the lettuce to give it a little bit of accent of flavor, and then we just drop it from the top of the plate. Like I mentioned, just kind of like it fell from the sky. This plate, we have a lot of little crunchy accents that we use. In this case, it's a little bit of lobster roe that's cooked and dried. It's used in a lot of our seafood dishes, and we use it just as a little bit of surprise on the plate to give a little, actually once again, a little texture and a little wonderful aroma, but it also gives a little throw of color onto the plate as well.
Frank Caputo is the executive chef at the River Course Country Club on the exclusive Kiawah Island, South Carolina. After getting a degree from the CIA, he worked several fancy clubs, mainly in Florida. He came to Kiawah Island in 1994. The entree features a southern favorite, Shad Roe paupiette. The chef begins a mushroom duxelle, ultimately a finely chopped mixture with sliced portobellos and shiitakes, yellow and ordinary oyster mushrooms sautéed in butter. Then chopped garlic, shallots, and diced bacon are added.
Add our minced bacon. We're featuring a red Bordeaux as the sauce. So we're going to add it to our mushrooms in deglazing. We add our herbs.
Sage and thyme. After all the wine has evaporated, the mixture is refrigerated, then will be finely chopped. Now the chef deals with the Shad Roe.
Okay, here we have Shad Roe. It's the roe from a shad fish, which is a fish that's indigenous to the area. It's right out of the Ashley River. They spawn at certain times of the year and produce the eggs. And here they remove the eggs, and they're a delicacy in the area. We take the roe, make sure that they're fairly clean, remove any sinew or any veins, anything that's you wouldn't care to eat, and then we'll season it with salt and pepper. And then dust it with a light bit of flour.
The roe is seared in olive oil.
Shake off any excess flour. The objective here is just to sear both sides very, very rapidly in order to help in the handling process as you place the plate together.
After about a minute per side, remove and allow to cool. Ultimately, the roe will be presented enrobed in thin potato slices. The potato goes onto buttered parchment paper, is painted with clarified butter, and oven blanched.
Piece of parchment paper. And another sheet pan on top to keep them straight. We bake this in the oven for approximately 5 to 6 minutes, and it actually blanches the potatoes and doesn't allow them to oxidize, to turn any colors that you don't want.
At 375. After blanching, the potato slices are refrigerated. The wild mushrooms have been chopped and assembly begins. The potato slices are overlapped on a piece of plastic wrap.
We take our shad roe, which has been seasoned, floured, and seared on both sides, and our mushroom duxelle, which has been cooled and diced up. And we form a layer of mushroom duxelle on top of the shad roe.
The overlapping potato slices are folded over, and the finished packet is wrapped tightly in plastic wrap and is refrigerated for 15 to 20 minutes. After cooling, the roe is browned in a nonstick pan. Then it's into a 425-degree oven for 5 minutes. The sauce is started by sautéing slices of shad with shallots.
Our red Bordeaux.
The same red Bordeaux used for the mushroom mixture is added. The wine is reduced and fish stock will be added.
We have a few sprigs of fresh thyme that we would add with our reduction of our red wine. And allow this to reduce. Allow this to reduce to the proper consistency. Our sauce is the right consistency. We will strain off the fish and the herbs and the shallots.
Presentation begins with sliced leeks that were stewed in butter. The sauce is finished with a little heavy cream and butter.
Here we take our shad. Our red Bordeaux sauce.
Boiled yellow beets complete the dish.
And a couple sprigs of fresh thyme.
Gerard's Downtown opened quietly in early 1999, but in New Orleans the word gets out fast when it comes to good restaurants. One of the lead items at Gerard's is the pastry of Lisa Anderson. It is very often straight ahead, no frills work that is refreshing these days. Here is her cherry strudel.
You're going to combine your almond paste, your sugar, and your almonds in a food processor.
This begins the almond cream, which is basically a pastry cream.
And you want to process them until they're pulverized. I mean, you just want a nice, fine, sandy consistency.
Then the processed mixture is combined with softened butter in an electric mixer with the paddle attachment, and eggs and flour are added.
It starts to come together, add your eggs. And add in your flour. And then lastly, add your almond extract, or what we use here is a bitter almond essence, which is a little stronger.
Actually, this almond essence is a lot stronger. Assembly of the strudel starts with phyllo dough.
You're going to butter each sheet of phyllo with clarified butter. It's best to work on the edges first and then move inward.
Both sheets are buttered and another layer goes on. The second layer is also buttered.
Sprinkle this second layer with sugar and some lightly toasted almonds.
Two more layers are added, one with the almond sugar combination and one with the almond cream.
Now, the trick to not ripping the phyllo when you're pressing the almond cream is to wet your hands. When you get it pretty much dispersed, then you could smooth it gently with a offset spatula. You want to sprinkle your plumped cherries over the almond cream.
These are dried cherries that were rehydrated by bringing apple juice to a boil, pouring over the cherries and letting stand for an hour.
Next, you're going to move your second stack of phyllo, place it over your cherries. And with the short side towards you, you're going to roll it in a jelly roll fashion. If you have a piece of parchment or a towel underneath, that kind of helps you to get started.
The strudel is painted with melted butter.
Place in a 350-degree oven and bake for 30 to 45 minutes until evenly golden brown.
The plate is garnished with creme anglaise and cherry syrup.